Now, often when we create a pivot table, we then want to put a formula outside of the pivot table that references a result or shows a result from the pivot table in the spreadsheet. But often when we just use a standard formula or a standard equals that cell, it can get screwed up when the pivot table is altered or changed. And so this is when cube functions are really good to reference measures in pivot tables. Let's go, for example, to the sheet that we called products by category. And I just want to insert a couple of rows above the pivot table. So I'm going to click on row 1 and press Ctrl plus, and I'm using the plus on my number pad twice to insert 2 rows. Now in the cell A1, I'm just going to type total quantity. And to the right of that in B1, I want to make a reference to the number of products measure. And I want to use the CUBEVALUE function. So I go equals CUB, and there's the CUBEVALUE function. I double click CUBEVALUE. The next thing it needs is a connection. So I type double quote, and I double click this workbook data model, and double quote, comma. And now I use an expression. So I double quote, and here I can say that I want measures. Double click, full stop, and then I can choose which measure. So number of products is the measure I'm after. So I double click it. Double quote, close bracket. When I press enter, it'll pull through the number of products from this data model. And as I scroll down, there's the 77 there. Instead of going equals B61, and then you go and alter the layout of the pivot table, that would screw up that formula big time. And in fact, instead of scrolling down, I'm just going to go to beverages, pivot table analyze, and collapse the field. And you can see, there it is there. So even as you alter the pivot table, the number of products will still show correctly. Let's use a couple more cube functions. For example, I'm going to select the sheet financial summary. And I want to put a summary above the pivot table. So I'm going to insert 5 rows. Click on the 1, Ctrl plus once, twice, 3, 4, 5. So insert 5 rows. Then I want to go and type summary in A1. And I might just increase the font size to say 16. Then in B2, I want to type total sales. Under that, total cost of goods sold. And under that, total profit. I might right align these. Perfect. Now what I want to do is I want to put a cube function into the cell C2. So I start with equals CUB, and there's CUBEVALUE. Double click CUBEVALUE. Wants to know what's your connection. Double quote, and then double click this workbook data model, and double quote again. Comma, double quote, and now I'm after certain measures. Can I just type? No, I can't. I've actually got to type, or I've actually got to double click measures. And I'm after, full stop, the measure that is called total sales. So I scroll on down, and there's total sales, and I double click it. Double quote, close bracket, enter. And so that is my total sales. Now I want another CUBEVALUE, equals CUBE, connection, double quote, this workbook, double quote, comma, double quote, oops, comma, double quote, measures, and total cost of goods sold, full stop, total cost of goods sold, double quote, close bracket, enter. Underneath that, I need the total profit, equals COBE, CUBEVALUE, double quote, this workbook data model, double quote, comma, double quote, measures, full stop, and total profit. Double click, double quote, close bracket. So we've created 3 cube functions, 3 cube value functions to pull through key measures from our pivot table and show them in the spreadsheet. And the pivot table can literally alter, change, and you will still get good results showing. And so I'm just going to format these to look really nice to finish this particular segment. Beautiful. Wrong blue. Correct blue. All right, so those are my cube functions.